It's Sarah Sugden's 21st birthday. The bunting is up, there's cake on the table, and in walks Dr. Caitlin Todd, ready to blow Charity Dingle's whole world apart. This is not hypothetical. Such is the storm cloud that hangs over this village as we enter the first week of June. And if you think Charity has been under pressure before, and she has, this woman has squirmed out of more corners than a cat in a maze, then nothing has looked like this. Leyla, baby, Ross Barton, Charity can't pay a blackmail debt, and a birthday party used as a detonator. This week on episode Whisper 2.0, we are telling you all you need to know about what is happening in Emmerdale between Monday the 1st and Thursday the 4th of June 2026. 5 plots. Some of them are heartbreaking, some of them are downright shocking, and one of them, honestly, is almost a little funny if it weren't so tense. So let's go. We'll start with Charity, because frankly, where else do you start? The Woolpack has been at the center of Emmerdale for decades, and right now its landlady is fighting for her life. Not literally, but close enough. Charity's been backed into a corner by Dr. Caitlin Todd, who holds the most explosive secret in the village. That baby Leyla isn't who everyone believes her to be. That child is Charity's, fathered by Ross Barton, and Todd has been squeezing every last drop of leverage out of that information. This week, things tip over into genuinely desperate territory. The deal Charity had been counting on falls through, and when she tries to find another way to scrape together the money Todd is demanding, she hits another wall. What makes it worse is that she can't even keep it to herself any longer. Dingle, her cousin, her confidant, the woman she's been through more than most people could imagine, finds out. And look, when Dingle is the voice of reason in your crisis plan, you know you've really hit rock bottom. The two of them together, cooking something up, that's not a small thing. These are two women who between them have seen off affairs, murders, court cases, and enough family drama to fill a library. Their plan involves getting their hands on money from a safe at-home farm, which, honestly, even saying it out loud sounds like the kind of scheme that ends in disaster. But here's what really gets to me about this storyline. Todd doesn't just want the money, she wants the power. Even when Charity manages to hand over something, a partial payment, a show of good faith, Todd laughs it off, and then sets a final deadline, pay up in full, or she tells everyone at Sarah's birthday party. Sarah's 21st, a celebration, and Caitlin Todd wants to use it as the moment she pulls the pin. The fan question everyone's asking right now is, does Charity tell Sarah first? Because if that secret comes out from Todd's mouth rather than Charity's own, there is no coming back from that, not for their relationship. And Emma Atkins has been absolutely electric in this role lately. The way she plays Charity's desperation underneath all that bravado is just masterful television. Coming up, the affair that the whole village doesn't know about yet, but one or two people are getting a little too close to the truth. Ross Barton has always been a complicated one, hasn't he? He came back into Emmerdale carrying a lot of baggage, and somehow he's managed to add to the pile. His relationship with Laurel Thomas, and yes, it is a relationship now, whatever they're calling it, moves into new and more serious ground this week. Laurel Thomas has been through things in this village that would flatten most people. She's known grief. She's known addiction. She's rebuilt herself with a quiet dignity that a lot of viewers genuinely admire. So watching her caught up in something as messy and emotionally complicated as a secret affair, there's a real sadness to it, even when it's clearly bringing her joy. What gives this week its emotional weight isn't the romance itself. It's Gabby. Gabby Thomas has been trying to get Ross's attention, and it's clearly getting her nowhere. She's hurting, and watching her open up about that, about feeling overlooked, about reading all the wrong signals, is the kind of scene that reminds you how good this show is at making you feel for characters even when the plot is swirling around them like mad. Dawn Fletcher gets brought into Gabby's orbit this week too, and that conversation between them feels quietly significant. Dawn's perceptive. She figures out fairly quickly where Ross's interest actually lies. She doesn't say much, but she knows. Meanwhile, Nicola King, and honestly, bless her, she cannot keep a secret to save her life, gets wind that her best friend might have a new man in her life. The glee on Nicola's face is probably visible from space. She's practically vibrating with the need to tell Manpreet. The comedy of it sits in sharp contrast to how conflicted Laurel herself feels, because by the back end of the week, Laurel's guilt starts to catch up with her. The worry that Gabby might feel betrayed, not just hurt, but genuinely betrayed, lands on her properly. And that shift in Laurel, from happiness to guilt, is where Charlotte Bellamy does what she does best. Absolutely nothing is wasted. My theory? Someone's going to see them together. Whether that's this week or next, the clock is ticking. Actually, before we carry on, if you haven't already subscribed to Episode Whisper, just tap that button now. We cover Emmerdale every single week, and there are thousands of us watching together. Love having you here. Now, Kim Tate being suspicious of someone is genuinely one of the most thrilling things this show can offer. Because Kim doesn't just get suspicious, she starts building a case. Quietly, methodically, like a woman who has demolished far bigger threats than a man she thinks is lying about working overtime. Sam Dingle is not having his best week. He's been trying, sweetly, endearingly, very Samly, to secretly take dance lessons so he can surprise Lydia. It's the kind of plan that is so wholesome, it almost makes you nervous because Emmerdale doesn't tend to let wholesomeness run unchallenged for long. Ross has been helping him arrange it all, which, given everything else Ross is juggling right now, is quite the side plate. When Kim discovers that Sam has been less than honest about his whereabouts and his hours, she starts putting pieces together, and the pieces are pointing to one conclusion: an affair. She's wrong, of course, but she's not going to stop looking. The best bit of this comes when Ross ends up spending an evening with Laurel, and Sam turns up at completely the wrong moment. What follows is the kind of hastily constructed cover story that sounds completely plausible to absolutely nobody with half a brain, and Kim Tate has considerably more than half a brain. Laurel apparently is going to teach Sam to dance. Right, sure. Lydia, meanwhile, has no idea any of this is happening. She's upset that Sam turned down a quiet night in, and she doesn't understand why. Watching her be completely in the dark while everyone else scrambles around her is both funny and quietly heartbreaking. Right, let's have a breather, because this one's got a bit more lightness to it, even if it starts with a reckoning. Archie has been caught out. Whatever scheme he ran, and it was impressively cheeky for a teenager, Carrie Wyatt and Eric Pollard are not amused. Being conned is one thing. Being conned by someone that young is another level entirely, and these two are absolutely determined to make sure he doesn't get away with it. His punishment shifts at David's shop, which is not the most glamorous of sentences, but it's fitting. What makes this storyline sing is Pollard's reaction once he sees Archie in action, because the old schemer in Eric Pollard recognizes something in this lad, a bit of nerve, a bit of cunning, and you can practically see the cogs turning. Pollard was running rings around this village before Archie was born. Whether he's planning to mentor him or have a bit of fun with him, we don't quite know yet, but there's definitely something brewing. This is the kind of secondary storyline that Emmerdale does beautifully. It's not the headline drama, but it gives you texture. And Chris Chittle, as always, makes Pollard utterly watchable, whether he's furious or mischievous. And then there's Cain. Cain Dingle has been one of the most compelling characters this show has ever produced. Hard, loyal, complicated, capable of great cruelty and great love in the same breath. Watching him struggle in the wake of his prostatectomy, the surgery, the recovery, the way it's affected him not just physically, but in every other way a man like Cain would find hardest to admit, has been genuinely moving. This week, his mate Liam Kavanagh tries to step in, not as a GP making a house call, but as a friend who can see someone he cares about losing his footing. Liam's one of those characters who operate best in these quieter moments. He's dependable, he's decent, and he doesn't flinch from difficult conversations. Whether Cain lets him in is another matter entirely. That's the thing about this man. He can be surrounded by people who love him and still manage to be completely alone. Jeff Hordley has been heartbreaking in this role this year, and I hope the show gives this storyline the time and the space it deserves, because there are real people watching this who see themselves in Cain's silence. So that's your week ahead in Emmerdale. A blackmail bomb about to explode at a birthday party, a secret affair becoming harder and harder to hide, Kim Tate honing her instincts, a teenager getting his just desserts, and one of this show's great characters trying to find his way back. I would like your opinion. Does Charity tell Sarah herself before Todd has the chance? And what is Pollard doing with young Archie? Drop your theories in the comments. I read every one of these. If you like this, then a like really helps the channel, and subscribe if you have not already. Same time next week. Be safe out there.